Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. You turn us back to dust and say, "Turn back, you mortals, for 1,000 years in your sight are like yesterday when it is past, or like a watch in the night." You sweep them away. They are like a dream, like grass that is renewed in the morning. In the morning it flourishes and is renewed. In the evening it fades and withers. When the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together, and one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question to test him. "Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?" He said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets." Now, while the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them this question: "What do you think of the Messiah? Whose son is he?" They said to him, "The son of David." He said to them, "How is it then that David by the Spirit calls him Lord, saying, 'The Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your feet'? If David thus calls him Lord, how can he be his son?" No one was able to give him an answer, nor from that day did anyone dare to ask him any more questions.
Hi, do you have a hammer here?
Yes, we do. Why? What do you need it for?
I'm going to nail something in the church, exactly church door. Good morning. This Sunday is the one to celebrate what the church calls Reformation Sunday. If you have read my reflection, you already know it. Here, I'm not going to repeat everything, but just mention some highlights. While many people think of Halloween, the evening of October 31st is a significant day for Christians, as Martin Luther, on the last evening of October of 1517, nailed the now well-known 95 Theses on the church door of Wittenberg, Germany. This was a common practice of the day to invite scholars to debate issues facing the church. In Luther's theses, most of them were accusations against the Pope. Luther's action is now understood as the beginning of the movement we called Reformation. This is an important event of the Church, as these reformers were duped Protestants, and that is how we, who are non-Catholic, get to be called Protestants. We in the United Church may not make it a big liturgical event, but it really depends on where you go. In the United Church website, there is a page dedicated to celebrating Reformation for this Sunday. It is quite a refreshing page to read. Some of the questions raised on that page could have been addressed when we were in baptismal or confirmation classes, but faith continues to grow and change as we age. It is always a good exercise to ponder on questions such as, what makes us Protestant? How do we understand the cross? What about Mary, Jesus, Messiah? Whenever it comes to the end of October, Halloween is kind of there to remind me to buy some treats. But I also like to think of the long road of Reformation. The church has gone through tons of changes. It keeps reforming. Sometimes she is bewildered by the social forces outside her control, and sometimes by the zealous folks inside her walls. Old hymns such as, O God, our help in ages past, or Be Thou my vision, may be outdated Christian hymns in some contemporary congregations. But to me, these hymns and their lyrics still connect me in mysterious ways to the faith and commitment of the past saints. Martin Luther loved the Catholic Church. He had no plan to divide the unity of the church, and yet history shows that his ideas were too much for the church of his time. I want to learn from this history and learn to be an open person. I want to be a source of positive energy as we enter into a world that is full of confusion, unkindness, and cruelty. Love is the greatest commandment. I believe it.
Holy God, you have provided all we have needed. You have walked alongside us as we have journeyed through wilderness and valley and climbed to the heights of the mountain. We have glimpsed the promised land, here but not yet. We lift up those who live in the shadow of disappointment, having seen the promise but not the realization. We lift up those who live in the no longer but not yet, having left an arduous past for a future yet unknown. We lift up those who live with the weight of responsibility, having carried the burden of another's pain. We lift up those who live in the obscurity of loneliness, having survived a torment that cannot be explained. Lay your holy hands upon us, empowering God, that we may be the church for them. Through Christ who sustains us. Amen.
Blessed are you, O sisters and brothers, for you shall be holy, as the Lord your God is holy, living in peace by trusting in the promises of God.